Students of 11th class, today we are starting a new unit, that is chemical bonding and molecular structure. Today we shall first discuss the need of chemical bonding. For this purpose, we need to understand that the modern periodic table has a number of elements. For example, it has 118 elements. Out of these elements, the elements that are present in last group of the periodic table. Last group means 18th group. 18th group is also known as zero group of the periodic table. So the elements that are present in the last group of the periodic table, that is helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon, radon. These are elements of group 18. These all elements exist independently. That is, they are present independently. They don't require any factor to be independent. They are independent. That is, they exist independently. They exist in atmosphere. For example, helium, it exists. Neon, argon, krypton, xenon, radon. But other elements of the periodic table, other than these, they do not exist independently. Similarly, there are molecules, for example, chlorine, for example, oxygen, for example, hydrogen, for example, ozone, for example, hydrogen chloride. These are some molecules which exist independently. So, either noble gases exist independently or these molecules, they exist independently. Other than these, all other elements of the periodic table, they do not exist independently. Now the reason for this is that these elements, that is these noble gases, which are present in 18th group of the periodic table, they are stable. These are stable elements. That is why they exist independently. Similarly, these are also stable. So, whatever is stable, that exists independently. Now, the matter is that what we understand by stability. Why we say that these are stable? Why we say that these molecules are stable? The reason for it is that all these elements, that is neon, argon, krypton, xenon, radon, other than helium, leaving helium aside, these all elements have 8 valence electrons. 8 valence electron. What does it mean? It means that they have 8 electrons in the outermost shell. For example, your neon, it has atomic number of 10. So its electronic configuration will be 2, 8. 8 electrons in the valence shell. Then your argon, atomic number 18. Its electronic configuration is 2, 8, 8. 8 in the valence shell. Then krypton, 36. Its electronic configuration is 2, 8, 18, 8. 8 in the valence electron. Its atomic number is 54. So it has also 8 electrons in the valence shell. Then radon, atomic number 86, it has again 8 electrons in the valence shell. Now what we find similar in these elements, that all these elements have 8 valence electrons. That is why they are known as stable elements. But your helium, it is also considered as a stable element because it has only one shell and that shell is complete. Its atomic number is 2. Though it does not have 8, it has only 2, but still it is considered as stable elements. So now what are stable elements? Stable elements are those elements which have 8 or 2 valence electrons, or in other words, which complete their octet. Octet means 8 valence electron, or duplet. Duplet means 2. Duplet in case of your helium. So, what are now these stable elements? Stable elements are those which have 8 electrons in the valence shell, except helium, which has only 2, but still it is a stable element. So the other elements of the periodic table, other than these elements, they are not stable. They don't have 8 electrons in their valence shells, and that is why they make every effort to become stable, and for that purpose this term, that is chemical bonding, it comes into existence. Now these are two scientists, G.N. Lewis and Kosel. In 1916, in the year 1916, they were the first scientists who gave us this rule, octet rule, the duplet rule. This rule was first of all given by G.N. Lewis and Kosel in 1916. Now octet rule means 8 electrons in the valence shell, and your duplet rule means 2 in the valence shell. But this rule, duplet rule, stands for only first shell. Only for first shell this rule stands. Now we have one more concept. That concept is valency or valence. But before going to valence electron, I shall give you another concept. That concept is known as Lewis dot symbol, or this is also known as electron dot symbol. Now what is this concept? This concept is, Lewis did one thing, that while making electronic configuration, he represented valence electron by means of dots. For example, if this is boron, suppose this is boron, its atomic number is 5, its electronic configuration is 2 in the first shell and 3 electrons in the second shell. This is electronic configuration of boron. Now this is boron. How many valence electrons it has? Only 3. Now these 3 electrons can be represented by some dots, say like this. 1, 2, 3. And this structure is known as Lewis dot symbol, or simply electron dot symbol. Now what is Lewis dot symbol? Lewis dot symbol is a symbol in which valence electrons are shown by some points. Similarly, this is carbon, atomic number 6, electronic configuration 2, 4. How many valence electrons? 4. These 4 electrons can be represented like this. So this is Lewis dot symbol of carbon. This is Lewis dot symbol of boron. I have chlorine, atomic number 17, electronic configuration 2, 8, 7. How many valence electrons? 7. These 7 electrons can be shown by means of dots. 2, 4, 6 and 1, 7. This is electron dot symbol of chlorine, or Lewis dot symbol of chlorine. Now these symbols, that is Lewis dot symbols or electron dot symbols, they are very important for finding the valence of an element, finding the valency of an element. Now how valency of an element can be determined using these symbols? I will give you a formula which will help you to find the valency or the valence of an element. Valency of an element can be calculated by 2 methods. First method is very simple, number of dots in the Lewis symbol. This is one. Another method for calculating the valency of an element is 8 minus number of dots in Lewis symbol. So these are two methods of finding valency of an element. Now let us take some examples to calculate the valency of some elements. For example, I have an element sodium. Its atomic number is 11. Its electronic configuration is 281. Its Lewis dot symbol, Lewis dot symbol will be Na, and how many valence electron? Only one, that is one dot. This is Lewis dot symbol of sodium. By this symbol we can calculate valency of sodium by one of these methods. For example, first method. How can we find valency of sodium? Number of dots in the Lewis symbol. Now how many these dots are there in sodium? Only one. So its valency is 1. Similarly, we can find valency of magnesium, Mg, atomic number 12, electronic configuration 28. Its electron dot symbol will be magnesium and these 2 electrons. So how many dots are there? 2. So its valency will be 2. Now we can use another method, second method also. For example, this is chlorine, atomic number 17, electronic configuration 287, and its electron dot symbol will be Cl. How many valence electrons? 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now we have to find its valency. If we find its valency, we will use this formula. 8 minus number of dots in Lewis structure. That is 8 minus 7 is equal to 1. So 1 is its valency. So we can find the valency of an element by either number of dots in the Lewis symbol or 8 minus number of dots in the Lewis symbol. So these are two methods of finding valency, because this valency has a role in chemical bonding. So now we can go to the concept of chemical bonding. What is chemical bonding? Chemical bonding, before going to that, we will come to unstable elements. Unstable elements are those which do not complete their octet. That is, they are not noble gases. So if we keep these noble gases aside, all other elements are unstable. Those unstable elements, they try to complete their octet. Now there are two methods of doing so. Either they lose electron, or they gain electron, or they share electron, or they contribute electron. These are some methods. For example, let me take an example. Suppose this is sodium. Its atomic number is 281. How many valence electrons? 1. This is electron dot symbol or Lewis dot symbol of sodium. This is chlorine. Atomic number 17 and electronic configuration 287. How many these valence electrons? 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is Lewis dot symbol of your chlorine. Now let us see whether sodium is stable or unstable. Sodium has 1 valence electron, so it is unstable element. Now, in order to acquire stability, in order to complete its octet, sodium will have to lose this valence electron. If it loses this valence electron, it becomes stable. Similarly, your chlorine, it has 7 valence electron. To acquire stability, it requires 1 electron in the valence shell to become stable. So here, this concept comes into play, chemical bonding. Now, sodium and chlorine, they can undergo chemical bonding because one of them has 1 additional electron which it wants to lose to become stable. On the other hand, chlorine has 1 lesser electron to become stable. So there can be compromise between sodium and chlorine. There can be an understanding between sodium and chlorine. What will happen in this case? 1 electron from sodium will transfer from the valence shell of sodium to valence shell of chlorine. Please remember that this transfer of electron takes place from the valence shell of one atom to the valence shell of another atom. Only valence electrons take part in bonding. Now what will be the new situation? Your sodium has lost 1. So its electronic configuration will be now 2, 8, 1 positive. Similarly, your chlorine will have 2, 8, 8. 7 plus 1, 1 electron it has gained. It becomes negative. Now, this is cation, that is positively charged ion. This is anion, negatively charged ion. They can attract each other. They are opposite charges. They can attract each other by a force, by a bond, by a force or a bond. This bond is known as ionic bond. So your sodium and chlorine, they combine together to form sodium chloride by a bond. So what is a bond now? Bond is a force that binds your atoms. So this chemical bonding has many types. We have ionic bond. We have covalent bonds. We will discuss them later on. Here I will just throw light on the types of bonds. For example, I have ionic bond. We will discuss these bonds in detail later on. But here I will just write their names. Ionic bond. In ionic bond, what happens? Electrons are transferred. For example, here in this case, electrons have been transferred from the valence shell of one atom to the valence shell of another atom. So here in ionic bond, transfer of electrons takes place. Why this transfer of electron takes place? To acquire stability. Both atoms, they want to acquire stability. That is why there is transfer of electron. But it is not always that there is only transfer. Sometimes another bond is formed, that is covalent bond. This covalent bond is formed not by transfer of electron but by shearing. What happens in this? For example, this is hydrogen and hydrogen. These are 2 electrons. These are not being transferred from here to here or here to here. They are being sheared between these 2 hydrogen atoms, forming a bond, and this bond is known as covalent bond. We will be discussing it later on in detail. This is another type of bond, covalent bond. So what happens in covalent bond? There is shearing of electrons. What happens in shearing? Sometimes these electrons are contributed by by both of the atoms, but sometimes what happens? This pair of electron, that is sheared by only one, and at that point of time the bond is known as coordinate bond. So what is difference between coordinate and covalent bond? In covalent bond, electrons are mutually sheared. They are contributed and sheared. But in coordinate bond, they are contributed by only one atom but sheared, mutually sheared. This is coordinate bond. We have other types of bonds also. For example, I have metallic bond. As the term itself explains, that this bond is formed in metals. Then we have hydrogen bonds. And we have one weaker bond, that is van der Waals force. These are some other bonds. So concluding chemical bonding, concluding the concept of chemical bonding, we would like to say that chemical bond is nothing. It is a force. It is a force that binds atoms so that they acquire stability and form compounds. So a chemical bond is a force that binds atoms so that those atoms acquire stability, so that those atoms complete their respective octets and form new compounds. So this is all about chemical bonding.